From closed session, and City Attorney, can you report out, please?
Thank you, Mayor. The City Council has returned from closed session with no reportable action taken.
Okay. And can you all join me and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Lowe with the invocation by Councilmember Nafolda.
Please put your right hand over your heart and ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, and thank you for bringing us together again to serve our great community. I ask that you bless each and every one of us here today, and ask for your blessing upon this meeting and those who work to build a better city. Finally, please grant knowledge and discernment to this council as we deliberate on the important matters before us. May our decisions be guided by fairness, compassion, and commitment to the common good. In your name we pray. Amen.
All right. Our first presentation, my victim, Lieutenant Colonel Fox. Come on up. So Lieutenant Colonel Fox has been our base commander for 3 years? Two? Okay. And he is moving on to Texas on purpose. But he has been, you know, the minute he walked in, it was like, let's get things going. I've got a timeline. He works in private sector time as opposed to military or government time, which is always nice to get things done. And he has put stuff into place that will stay with us well after he's gone and then hopefully comes back. So we just, you know, the base is so important to us. It's half of our land mass. We love being a military town, and he is a big reason of why that base has just been thriving through all of its different missions and growth and change of regulations and everything else. So I just want to thank you for just your time, your wisdom, and your friendship. He's got a wicked sense of humor, believe it or not. And we're going to miss you, but hopefully you will be back one day soon to carry on our mission. I wanted to hand you this, and then also to our very special, so you don't forget where you came from. Street sign.
Hang this up right over the stop sign.
There you go. Thank you. See? Wicked sense of humor.
Thank you very much.
So, would you like to say something? Okay.
I can yell. Thank you very much. It's always an honor to be honored. I take this on behalf of the base, the National Guard of California. It's been a tremendous honor to serve with such an open-minded city. As I said, I think I said this to the Chamber of Commerce, even the protesters that you guys have here are outstanding to work with. No, amazing people. They wait until they're off work. They come over, they obey the rules, they tell me what they think. I pass it up to the bosses, and what a great way to protest. Great city that you have here. It's been an honor to be here. I wish I could say I was coming back, but it's not my choice. I would be back if I could. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Make sure you brag about that street sign. Not everybody gets that. Absolutely. Gone but not forgotten. All right, for next, I'd like to, we're going to do during our Mayor's Business Spotlight, and I'd like to have Samantha McFeely, Sarah Bola, and Carla Salcido to come on up. I said 3 names, there's 4 of you.
I'm Dr. Jennifer Harris. So
Okay, very good, okay. So the Business Spotlight Program is a free business recognition program designed to create awareness about the variety of local businesses located in Los Alamitos. This Business Spotlight Program is a great way for the city to say thank you, showcase our wonderful businesses, and also provide another tool to help our businesses grow. This month's recognized business is First Steps for Kids, an organization driven by the belief that every child deserves the opportunity to reach their fullest potential. They provide high-quality, evidence-based behavioral therapy for children with autism and developmental delays, while also fostering a positive and collaborative environment for their dedicated team. Their greatest reward is seeing these kids thrive and make a lasting impact on families and the community. What a great mission. We have so many families that are affected by autism and everything, and what a great that you're giving these kids tools to be able to be productive in life. So I'm going to hand it over to you, since I didn't say your name. You can introduce yourself and speak on your business.
Okay, great. Hi, my name is Dr. Jennifer Harris. I am the founder of First Steps for Kids. We started our company in 2005, so we just celebrated our 20th anniversary. We've got another 6 offices throughout California, and we had a lot of families calling from this area just really asking us to come down and be here in this wonderful community. So this is my team in Los Alamitos. There's obviously many more of them, but they're here tonight. And we're just absolutely thrilled to serve this beautiful, beautiful community. We've attended the spring carnival, which was just incredible, and we're doing the Nights on Pine, and we're just very grateful to be here and have found the city just to be lovely and everybody here. So thank you for welcoming us, and we're thrilled to help this community and be there for your most precious little ones.
And then we'd also like to share just a sneak peek of the video that we've created. And then you'll also be getting a copy of the full video to be able to use for your social media and marketing. So we can take a look of the sneak preview real quick.
What floor would you like to go to? The top floor. Awesome.
This is great.
Oh,
And I like it.
what should we do?
This month, on the Mayor's Business Spotlight, we're giving you a sneak peek at First Steps for Kids, a dedicated team making a big impact through early intervention and ABA therapy. From personalized support to life-changing breakthroughs, they're helping children take their very first steps towards a brighter future. With a passionate staff and evidence-based programs, First Steps is creating meaningful progress for families across our community. Stay tuned, the full story is coming soon.
So you can also visit our YouTube site to see the full video, and then you'll also have a copy of it. So I'd like to present to you on behalf of the city the certificate of recognition. We love our small businesses, and especially those with such a fantastic mission.
Thrilled to be here.
So thank you very much. And I think, Emily, are you going to do a picture?
Thank you.
Go on over to the. Next presentation, I'm real excited about. With great pride, we announce Susanna Ives, Department Secretary, as an Employee of the Quarter. And it's such a special event, I'm going to hand the mic over to our city manager.
So all excited, I thought I might get away with that. So a lot of people ask me, what is the hardest job in the city? And normally I would say the mayor or the chief of police. But the real answer is Zana's, is that she actually has to go and coordinate all of the different efforts of 3 different departments. And then she has to get me to where I'm actually going at the end of the day. And then she also has to translate everything that I don't understand about the world that's going on around me into very simple clips for me to understand. So I just wanted to say that it's hard to find people that actually have that skill set, that have the ability to go out and communicate with people on a very,
finding people where they are. And that's something that she excels at. And the ability to also then translate that to, you're going here and you have to do this and don't come back until you do it, is something that is very impressive. And so, Zana, thank you very much for everything you do for the city. And we can't wait to see what you do next.
You're welcome.
Yeah, please look at this calendar. So, I'm gonna give that to you, and then it was almost forgotten, but no. You took it on. Now, you are required to wear this tomorrow. If you can handle it. Okay, so you get to keep this for the corner, correct? All right, so that is all yours.
You have to wear it to every meeting. Good.
Meaning you?
If you don't.
Perfect. You want to take a picture with the backdrop? See, it already matches your outfit, so you're all set. Perfect. All right, and our final presentation, I'd like to have Chief Claiborne come on up, and he's going to introduce our newest VIP, Volunteer in Policing, and we're so excited. We have so many white shirts back there, it's cool. So I'm going to let him go ahead and take the floor.
We'll actually get the joy today of not having to do the presentation, but I get to pass it off to our Support Services Manager, Robert Acosta. If you can come forward. Briefly, I would like to just say that, you know, Robert and I shared a vision of what the Volunteers in Policing program would do in this city. And I don't want to speak for him, but I mean, this program has far exceeded anything we ever thought it could have been. And, you know, the response that we get from the community, for all of you being involved as you are, like you have just ingrained yourself into the fabric of this police department just seamlessly. And we appreciate everything that you do. And then Robert gets the joy of introducing one of our newest members.
Thank you, Chief. So, like the Chief said, this program has really exceeded all our expectations. And I think that's best demonstrated by the fact that our newest VIP is supported by essentially our whole VIP team, minus one who had other plans. But this team has really grown strong together. They have great camaraderie, and they really help each other out. But the newest VIP is Carl Myers. So Carl, come on up. Carl brings with himself a wealth of experience. He's recently served as a VIP at a other local jurisdiction. And that, again, is kind of testament to the value of how good this system is, the reputation we have, that people are willing to transfer over to us and join this team here. So with that experience, we can count on Carl to represent our city well. Career-wise, Carl spent 60 years in the plumbing industry, so we'll probably take advantage of that. He dedicated 34 years of his life as a Los Angeles County Reserve deputy. So that's good. He served in patrol and in air ops. So definitely applies to his role here. And for those years of service, I was told you earned $1 a year?
$1 a year.
$1 a year. So.
And they took taxes out of that. I can show you 77%.
So, Council, you'd be glad to know that Carl took a pay cut to come here?
Yeah.
Beyond his professional and volunteer services, Carl is an avid golfer. He loves traveling the United States, and we're fortunate to have someone with his dedication and experience joining our team. So when you see him out there, please take a moment to welcome him to the team. Do you have a few words to say?
Well, I'm just very happy to join the VIP program here, and with all the friendly people around here, it's a little strange. You know, everybody wants to know your name, from the officers to the janitors to just all of you. And I appreciate all your help. I have great training staff back here. I think I'm still in training, but someday they'll get the email straight from my city email, but we'll work on that. And I'm just very happy to be here.
Excellent. All right, well, welcome. We're glad that you're joining us.
Art, you can stay if you'd like. Come on, this is the fun part now. Wow. My feeling is so hurt. All right. We have 2 diehards left. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so I'm speaking to the 2 of you. This is the appropriate time to come forward to speak on any agenda item. Tonight's agenda includes 1 public hearing. Comments will be called for that hearing at the appropriate time. Comments will not be called individually for items not listed as public hearings. If you'd like to speak, please fill out a speaker card or sign in on the podium sheet. This allows staff to contact you for follow-up if needed. Anybody like to speak? Oh, you're going to be shy now. Okay. All right. Okay, with that, we'll move it to updates from the mayor. You're invited to attend the Memorial Care Elevate Encore Senior Expo for ages 50 plus. The Senior Expo is an informative event featuring resources and information to assist you in your second act. Memorial Care is proud to be the title sponsor for this event, alongside Living Well Home Care and Scan Health Plan as a presenting sponsor. Home Instead as our gold sponsor, and resources will be available on transportation, caregiving, leisure services, volunteer opportunities, and more. This free event will take place on Wednesday, August 27th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Los Alamitos Community Center. Enjoy a light breakfast, receive a free giveaway, and if you're among the first 150 attendees, be entered to win an exciting opportunity drawings throughout the event. So I went last year. It's a neat event. There's a lot of resources out there for our seniors and also for the caregivers as well. And then, next we have Celebrate Los Al. Come join us on Saturday, September 13th to commemorate the Universal Waste Systems Celebrate Los Al event. We are starting off the day at 8:30 a.m. with Serve Los Al, a citywide volunteer service event where dedicated residents can stay committed to making our city thrive. You can participate by supporting one of many projects offered, such as serving local nonprofits, aiding a senior resident in need, or giving back to the community. You can register for projects at www.servelosal.org. And also, a blood drive and Listonic free health clinic will also take place in the morning of September 13th. Following Serve Los Al, join your community at 4:30 p.m. for the UWS Celebrate Los Al. Here we're featuring a vendor fair and carnival where the whole family can partake in carnival games and rides, all while enjoying Pine Streets at 5:30, which offers a variety of food tastings from local Los Alamitos residents. Come and explore our public safety fair at 4:30 p.m., featuring our own Los Alamitos Police Department, OCFA, CERT, and so much more. Grab a drink at the Beverage Garden and relax while listening to music from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. and a very special Veterans Recognition presentation at 5:30 at the stage. To complete the celebration, we're ending the night with the Elite Maintenance and Tree Service Glow Run and Glide. We glide? Okay. At 7:30, where more than 1,500 participants will unite in their most eccentric neon outfits and experience the magic of glow tunnels. The first 1,000 kids to register for the race are free. Don't miss out on these exciting activities and events celebrating our beautiful city of Los Alamitos. And then finally, the Elevate Women's Conference. You are invited to attend the Elevate Women's Conference sponsored by Memorial Care Long Beach Medical Center. This event will take place on Wednesday, October 1st from 8:30 to 1 at the Los Alamitos Community Center. Designed to inspire personal and professional growth, the Elevate Women's Conference will offer attendees practical tools and strategies to support their journey toward becoming their best selves. Pre-registration for this event is required as the seating is limited, and there will be no registration at the door. For the events referenced tonight, please visit the city's website for more at cityoflosalamitos.org. And then just far as my comings and goings this last month, I was thrilled to be honored to go for a tour of the new Veterans Cemetery in Anaheim Hills. Construction is underway in the infrastructure part of it. All the permits have been issued by the city of Anaheim. This public cemetery, I do have pictures here if anybody would like to see them. It's a public cemetery, a veteran cemetery. They're also going to be offering a section for veterans of foreign wars, and they're also going to be doing a section for first responders. It's amazing. It's just absolutely beautiful. You can see it right off the 91 freeway right now. There's just a giant flagpole there with a 30-foot by 50-foot flag. So that's where it'll be. It is going to also be a public cemetery, and the reason being is that Orange County is out of space, and you can no longer pre-buy plots in Orange County, so this is a need development for the public side, but it's all coming together, and it's going to be pretty spectacular. I went to my ALEC meeting. We reviewed the housing development in Newport Beach, as well as the housing element for Seal Beach. Both items were found to be inconsistent with ALEC, and so we sent that back to the cities for their further action on that. And finally, I just attended the Budget Standing Committee where we went over the review of our rates, and that'll be coming to the council in a few months. And that's all I have. And next is items from the city staff.
We have nothing for you tonight, Madam Mayor.
That's it? Okay. All right, warrants. Look at this. Per the council's accelerated warrant policy, staff will note questions and follow up after the meeting. No questions were received regarding tonight's warrants. Are there any new questions for follow-up before the next council meeting? All right, can I get a motion and a second, please?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Hasselbrink?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Doby?
Aye.
Councilmember Hibbard? Absent. Councilmember Lowe?
Aye.
Councilmember Nafolda?
Aye.
Okay, passes. On to consent calendar. All consent calendar items may be acted upon by one motion unless a council member requests separate action on a specific item. Would anybody like to pull an item?
Yes. Gotta be quicker than that. I want to pull F.
Okay. And Mr. Lowe, would you like to pull something?
I'd like to pull item C, please.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. Let's go ahead and motion a second for the balance.
I'll make a motion to move the balance.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's start with item C, fiscal accountability pledge.
Yeah, I'd like to have a staff report if you don't mind.
Of course. Council member and members of the council, the item before you tonight is actually a restatement of the fiscal sustainability pledge that the council first adopted back in 2020. The importance of this item is that it really is a statement of intent. It's a kind of a laying down markers as to where exactly we see the city going, or the council sees the city going. Remember, this was first adopted during a time where the city was still facing significant financial hurdles. Still, we had questions about where exactly we will be deploying resources in the community. And this pledge really crystallized, I think, for everybody, the way that the council was thinking about the city and the way that it should be run. Some examples of that. Since its adoption, the city has only adopted structurally sound and structurally balanced budgets. The city has doubled the amount of general fund reserve that we have in place, which goes to pay for CIP projects and then also for public safety operations. We've quadrupled the amount of money that we are putting on the streets in terms of street repairs. We have had a commitment from the city council to rehab and refinish all of the city's parks. This is also the place that spoke so highly, or the importance of maintaining our public infrastructure, but then also about public safety. It was this statement, or these I'll say crystallization of where exactly the city was going to go, that enabled us to get to a place where we have 25 sworn officers ready to respond to crime in the city. That doesn't happen without focus, without balance, without a clear direction of where you're trying to get to. The council took that step back in 2020, and reauthorizing it again today is a restatement by this council that those items are still important and still should be governing our decision-making going forward.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions on that?
No, I would just like to say that I think it's outstanding, and it speaks to the character of our newest addition, that you would even want to partake in something that you weren't around for. So thank you for believing in some of the work that came before you and linking arms with us as we move forward. I appreciate it, Gary.
Thank you.
All right, so on that, let's go ahead and do a motion and second for item C. Motion, please.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, on to item F, Commissioner Handbook. Mayor Pro Tem Doby.
So I just had an addition that I wanted to make, but I don't know if there was something that y'all wanted to point out about it. I think it's a great addition to whatever. It seriously models our council member handbook, which we were in desperate need of. So I think that this is just, tying up those nice loose ends. But was there anything that anybody wanted to say about the handbook before I give my 2 cents?
I will say this, Councilmember, and it's just to largely echo what you just said. Being able to define what exactly the roles are for each one of our commission is something that's important, but not just the roles of the commission, but also the staff that serves them. And so by defining these roles right up front, allowing people to really kind of get to the nitty-gritty of what their job is, I think is incredibly helpful for them, especially someone new that's coming on to take this role. So this is yet another tool they can use to prepare themselves for that so that everybody can hit the ground running. So, and a lot of credit to the city clerk's office for kind of pulling all this together, and then all the other departments that really kind of were able to add their 2 cents about their commissions and how we could best serve them.
Okay. So the one thing that I would say I'd like to see is in addition is you have verbiage regarding commissioner to council member interactions, but you do not have any verbiage illustrating the proper relationship for council member to commission. And I think it would be absolutely advantageous to put that in there, because that's where an abuse of power could potentially take place. I would like to be very clear that our commissioners, there should be an intermediary, so that we don't try to give pet projects to people and circumvent our own processes. So, and I believe that we have something tantamount to that in our own handbook. So even if it's just a cut and paste from the council member's handbook, I think that it would be appropriate to also have it in the commissioner's handbook.
I agree. Sorry, that was a lot closer than I thought it was. I agree completely. There's a very, I think, easy nexus to, again, letting everybody know where the rules are or where the borders are, and then how exactly we develop that. So if you'll allow us, given the fact that we're going to have new commissioners, obviously, here in the near future, if we can go back and actually work on some of that language, because I'd like to actually maybe make it a little bit, or beef it up a little bit more than what's in the council handbook right now.
Okay.
So, and then if we can return that to you, that would be perfect.
Okay, so we can add it to next month's agenda?
I don't think that would be problematic at all.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you a timeline, because I don't know what you have, but I'll let the mayor do it.
Yeah.
So if this is all right with council, I'd like the opportunity to huddle with the various directors that have commissioners that they have in their charge, and have them give me some input. And then if I can answer that question in the weekly to all of you as to what exactly we think a reasonable timeline is to get that back in front of you. I anticipate September would be fine, but just want to check in with the team first.
You've got Saturdays and Sundays.
And then spelling out who the commissioners would take direction from.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Wendy, is that something we need to vote on, or we're just putting it on for future?
The staff can take the direction and move
Okay,
forward.
so we don't have to vote on anything. Perfect, thank you. All right, then we are off to our public hearing. This
So
is.
don't we have to approve F or no? Or we don't do nothing?
No, we don't.
Because F isn't finished. Is that what you
So
were
that's
saying?
Yeah.
it.
I'm awake now, I apologize.
It's still daylight outside. Yeah. Okay, on to our public hearing. Regulation of group homes and sober living homes. And can we get a staff report?
Yes, thank
Oh.
you, Mayor. I'll be taking this one this evening.
Okay.
Keep everybody on their toes.
You never know. So before the council for consideration this evening is proposed amendments to the Los Alamitos Municipal Code, which would add zoning controls and business regulations for group homes and sober living facilities. For purposes of the ordinance, a group home is understood to be a facility used as a supportive living environment for persons who are considered disabled under state or federal law. It's important to note that under state and federal law, that persons who are in recovery from alcohol and drug addiction and are currently not using alcohol or illicit drugs are considered and recognized as being disabled for purpose of protections against discrimination. So a sober living home is a subset of a group home, and it's a group home for persons who are actively in recovery from alcohol or drug addiction. So this ordinance has been prepared in response to concerns really across the county, if not the state, that residential neighborhoods were increasingly being used for these types of facilities. And so the protections that would be adopted with this ordinance are intended to address and mitigate secondary impacts that are associated with these types of uses if there are not regulations. So the type of impacts you may be looking at are things like noise. You have large groups of people maybe on a patio at late hours of night, smoking or just making a lot of noise in a residential neighborhood. That's something that would obviously be discouraged or could be a problem for neighbors in a residential area. There's been reports of parking issues. Again, secondhand smoke is a common complaint. And then just an over-concentration of these types of facilities. There's a concern that, one may pop up, and then the next thing you know, you have an entire cul-de-sac which has multiple uses of this nature, and that's the type of thing actually that was witnessed in Costa Mesa. And I'm sure you're all aware that the city of Costa Mesa, that was really on the front end, the tip of the spear on this issue. They were embroiled in years of litigation concerning an ordinance that they enacted. After years of litigation and a lot of legal expense, they ultimately had their ordinance upheld by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And as a result, we had been monitoring that. Once we saw that they had a secure legal opinion that, propped up their ordinance, internally here, staff and myself went ahead and modeled an ordinance that's before you tonight that tracks and is largely modeled after the Costa Mesa approach. I think you're going to see a lot of cities in Orange County doing exactly that now that we have that decision. So we've talked about some of the secondary negative impacts that we hope to address, but I think it's also important to note that this is also intended to ensure that sober living facilities provide a supportive and compassionate environment for persons in recovery. Because there's also complaints and incidences of people who seem to be motivated by profit above everything else. You hear about folks who are in these programs who may have a relapse who are then just left outside without any plan for, okay, where do they go next? Who's there to sort of pick them up and try to get them back on track? So it really addresses both those angles with the regulations that would come into place here. I think I mentioned the discrimination aspect, and that's just that federal and state law prohibits any sort of discriminatory zoning ordinance. So the city can't just say, hey, we don't like these uses. We're not going to allow these uses in our city because you're obviously not discriminating against a protected class of individuals. So, but you can have reasonable regulations that are intended to preserve the nature of the neighborhood and protect participants in those programs. So the proposed amendments before you tonight are reasonable and non-discriminatory. We believe they will help preserve the residential character of Los Alamitos as residential districts while providing persons with disabilities an equal opportunity to comfortably reside in a residential environment. Again, that's another concern that's often stated is if individuals who are trying to go through this process only have access to institutions, it may not be the most appropriate environment for them to actually find recovery and get on the right track. So being able to live in a residential neighborhood, provided there's rules of conduct and there's no secondary impacts, may be the best course of recovery for these individuals. So included in the proposed regulations are zoning rules that group homes with 6 or less residents would be allowed in the R1, R2, R3, and MH zones, but that would be subject to a special use permit that's reviewed and approved administratively by the Community Development Director to make sure that all the rules and prerequisites for obtaining that permit are in place before they're allowed to operate. Group homes with 7 or more residents are not permitted in any R1 zone in the city. And then other group homes with 7 or more residents would be permitted in the R2, R3, and MH zones, but that would be subject to a conditional use permit on the land use side, and then an operator's permit, which is a regulatory license under our business code provisions. In terms of requirements and to be able to qualify for these types of uses, there is a 650-foot separation requirement, so you avoid over-concentration. You're not allowed to have one use go in and then have another one just pop up one house away. You can't be in close proximity due to that distance requirement. All occupants of the house other than the house manager are required to be actively participating in a legitimate recovery program while they're on the premises. So that means that, you know, folks, for example, would be actively enrolled in Narcotics Anonymous or another verified recovery program while they're living in the home. No sex offenders, violent felons, or drug dealers are permitted to be an owner or operator of or a staff member of the house. And you must have a house manager present 24/7 who would also be subject to live scan background checks and so forth.
But not the residents themselves.
There are limitations on the residents in terms of their backgrounds as well. One of the rules would be that if a person's well, I'll just step back from this. Part of the application submittal will be asking the operator to submit a lot of documentation explaining how they operate, what are their rules of conduct. They have to have a good neighbor policy in place that's approved by the city to make sure we're addressing things like parking, noise, just general conduct things, and to make sure there's not nuisance conditions being created. They're going to have to explain to the city how they handle evictions. If someone's in the program and they fall off, what happens next? Are they just left on the curb? And, you know, under this regulation, no, there's steps that they affirmatively have to take to make sure that they're getting this person back to their permanent residence or into another qualified program. And they must retain that documentation and make it available to the city so that we can see what happens to these folks, that they're just not going to show up on the corner with nowhere to go and no money stuck in the city. And then obviously, you know, the prohibition on use of alcohol or non-prescription drugs while you're in the house, that would be a basis for immediate removal of the individual. And if that's allowed to happen, then that's a basis for revoking any sort of approvals given to the operator to have that use in place. Looking to staff, I don't believe there are any active sober living facilities of this character in the city as of right now. I could be wrong about that. We'll ask Ron or the chief. Okay. There were, however, there are protections in this order. So taking a time shot tonight, we're saying there's none in the city. If one popped up tomorrow before this ordinance is actively in effect, there is grandfathering provisions in the ordinance which says, okay, if you pre-existed the ordinance, you still have a specified amount of time where you're going to have to come in, get under the regulatory program and start complying, or it's an unlawful use, and then that turns into either a code enforcement action or a criminal prosecution or both. So those are the protections that are baked in. But again, this is something that had been on the back burner for a while, but we were really watching and monitoring what was happening with the litigation so that we wouldn't inadvertently get pulled in early. But now that we're at a place of somewhat safe harbor with what Costa Mesa did, it seemed appropriate to bring it forward to the council.
Let me ask you this. I know in the past, these group homes of the 6 and under were not required to get business licenses. Are they now?
Six and under this scheme would be required to get a special use permit through the Director of Community Development, which would require that they meet all these spacing requirements, that they provide all the documentation, that there's live scans, all of the requirements that we're establishing here. Yeah, and if they don't do that, then there would be an unlawful use in our city.
So basically, it's just if somebody decides, I know they had an issue in the Highlands where they were starting to pop up and they didn't have a business license, so it wasn't required. So we didn't know what we didn't know. So, but if they started popping up, it's gonna basically take somebody else calling the city and say, why are all these people living next door to us?
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to, unfortunately, any other zoning inconsistency issue, or, you know, something that this closely mirrors in terms of having a dual zoning and regulatory aspect is the massage establishments. So it's similar where you may have, or even, you know, in other cities, not here, thankfully, you'll see cannabis dispensaries that go up. And it's a city that doesn't even permit it, right? So sometimes this stuff pops up and you don't know it's happening until you're notified, but what this gives you at least is now you have tools on the book that will allow you to go and enforce them to discontinue or to comply with the rules we've established.
Okay, and then another question, you had mentioned that the owners could not be sexual predators or on Megan's Law. What about the residents?
There's registry, so if someone was required to register, they would not be allowed to be within the same proximity to school sites or anything else that's required by state law.
But we're gonna leave that to the management of the facility, because it's like if somebody opens up over by Oak Middle School, they're going to have to police their own, or is that in the ordinance? That's one of the rules that you need to check to make sure that they're not registered sex offenders.
The city would be taking live scans of the management and the owners, but not live scans of every resident who passes through there.
I'm just concerned about sexual predators getting in across the street from the school by the way of a group home.
It's a good thing we're starting up our neighborhood watches.
And Madam Mayor, it's an important issue. If you'll allow the chief and I to talk with the city attorney, maybe we can devise a scheme that might allow us to have further regulation on that, but it would probably be outside of this ordinance, as this one will deal specifically to zoning.
Okay, because I think registered offenders can't be by parks or schools. So we're talking Orville Lewis, a number of even over at Cottonwood. I just want to make sure that we put in, there's expectations for the management of the facilities to make sure that they have people that are just recovering and not looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood.
Okay.
Yeah, I think again, if I'll get the brain trust together and see if we can't come up with something that actually allows us to do that.
Okay. Any questions from council?
I appreciate y'all putting this forward. I know that some cities like Mission Viejo, and you mentioned Costa Mesa, they have been having a time. So I am deeply appreciative of the expedience with which you got to this, because I'm sure that there's some bad actors, they're looking for their next place to go. And they probably would assume that little old Los Al is not really paying attention, and okay, we're ready.
And again, Mayor Pro Tem and then Council, this is exactly what you're talking about. It's putting the tools in place before you need them. And so ensuring that if code enforcement or building safety, or even if we have to involve the police department, that we have a very rock solid, legally defensible tool that we can use out there in the world. And this is exactly what this is.
Sorry, if I could just add one more thing. I was quickly glancing through the ordinance, and the chief and I can definitely get together on this, but there is a section related to, sex offender registry in here where it says the number of occupants subject to the sex offender registration requirements of Penal Code Section 290 cannot exceed the limit set forth in Penal Code Section 3003.5 and does not violate the distance provisions set forth in Penal Code 30003. So I think, I don't have the code sections in front of me right now, but I understand those sections to be a limitation. The distance requirement is obvious, but I think the other ones, a limitation on the concentration of unrelated registered sex offenders living together. So the idea being you would not have a group home that's catering to people on that list. They may meet the distance requirements from school and everything else, but you wouldn't want to have 6 people with that background living in the same building together in one area of the city.
I see what you did there. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we can tell our residents that there are tools in place where these will be enforced and our neighborhoods will still be safe. And these are people trying to get their life restarted, and that's it. Nothing come out of that. Okay. All right, with no other questions, this is an ordinance. So I'll have city attorney read the first reading.
This is a public hearing.
I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to be opening up for public comment. Come on, you guys aren't shy. Okay, so we're going to close for public comment. And now we're going to introduce the first reading by title only. City attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance 2025-06, entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Los Alamitos, California, adding chapter 5.52 in section 17.28.290 to the Los Alamitos Municipal Code and amending section 17.08.020 of the Los Alamitos Municipal Code.
All right, can I get a motion?
I'll move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next, we're coming to the discussion item, and I just clarified with the city clerk, we do not have an item 13. That is very unlucky. So our discussion item 14 will be the personnel-related changes for non-represented employees.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is the item that enacts the comments that I made at the last council meeting about promotion to assistant city manager. And with that, the city attorney will need to read a diatribe into the record. That being said, I have received comments from the council about the process itself, about the need to come back to the city council for these type of approvals. I'll be meeting with the city clerk and the city attorney to see if there's a way to streamline this process going forward in the future. With that.
There's the description of Josh. My apologies, I was unaware that the hot potato was flying my way on this one. So, the action before the city council tonight would be approving the job description for the assistant city manager and updating the executive management and non-represented employee salary schedule. Because this is an executive position, we are required to publicly note the benefits that will be awarded to the assistant city manager, and that information is contained in the City of Los Alamitos Executive Management and Non-Represented Employees Salary Schedule. What step is he beginning at, Chuck? We'll start at step A. So this step A of the salary schedule will have an annual salary of $202,675.20. That extends all the way through step E with a total potential compensation of $246,355. $20, and the assistant city manager would be entitled to all other benefits applicable to executive management.
And just for the council's edification, this is represents a 10% step over the current position of the deputy city manager. I will again point out though that this current position currently has 2 full-blown departments reporting to it, both development services and public works, which typically would have their own directors in those positions. Also, this position handles our IT governance, so that is in a lot of cities another department. And then also the simple pain and joy of getting to work with me every day. With that, I'm here to answer any questions.
And the position the money was already approved in this year's budget?
That's correct. This will not require an additional appropriation.
Perfect. Any questions up here? All right, motion and a second, please.
I will motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, on to our ordinance, the 2025 Building Standards Code and Fire Code adoption.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to turn this over to our Assistant City Manager, Ron Noda.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council. So tonight we are starting the step of adopting our 2025 Building Standard Codes and Fire Adoption. I want to point out that we have a representative of our Building and Safety Division and a member of our OCFA as well, in case council has any questions pertaining to a specific rule or code. But the state health and safety code requires local government to adopt new updated standards, the state of California, every 3 years. And so right now, the 2025 Building Standard Code will take effect on January 1st, 2026. Again, to remind council, the process here is that we do our first reading today. Next month, we hopefully will do a second reading, and if everything goes well, then we adopt 30 days after the second reading. That's why if you were asking why we're starting so soon, we have to have about 3 months or so to take into effect our ordinance. Okay. Again, I'm not gonna go over every single one, but, you know, we have building codes related to residential code, green building standard code, plumbing codes, mechanical codes, electrical codes. Again, there's many that we have to go through. And then, of course, OCFA comes in to address other items as well, such as addressing local conditions, are necessary, like life safety, firefighting, fire prevention standpoints, and any other practical form of enforcement standpoint in terms of an administrative standpoint. So again, tonight is the first reading of the proposed ordinance. If everything goes well, the second reading will occur at a public hearing at the next council meeting, followed by adoption that will go into effect 30 days after it to meet the California state basically mandate to have this adopted by January 1st of 2026. Again, I'm here for any questions. We have representative of our Building and Safety Division, OCFA, if you have any specific questions related to the codes. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Is that this friend here? You've been sitting here this whole time?
Yes.
Come tell us something. I don't want to, I want you to come and say something.
Or make Covey do it.
Speaker's choice. Oh, no, he has his own mic. You can come up next, though. Come talk to us. Don't be like that.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Pro Tem, council members. My name is Tony Alleman. I'm an assistant fire marshal for Division 1, which is part of, which incorporates the City of Los Alamitos. I'm the assistant fire marshal for this area. My office has 3 fire inspectors that are spread throughout this division that provide fire safety inspections. We investigate fire code complaints. We're responsible for the workload and that sort to keep the community of Los Alamitos safe when it comes to fire prevention. So if there's anything I could ever do to help, I even think I worked with Mayor one time on a fireworks stand over there at one point. My office also regulates the safe and safe fireworks here in the city. So if there's anything I could ever do to help, just reach out. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
You guys let him off the hook way too easy. I'm just saying. The battery of
You
questions
got to have
really
something
bad.
to tell us. You ain't been here our last 32 meetings.
I was out saving lives, or trying to find people anyway. You know, one thing I want to add, he kind of underscored it, is the staff. Between his staff and our firefighters, they go out and inspect every building to ensure they're compliant with fire code. We did in the division well over 4,000 inspections last year, or this year. We just finished it beginning of June. So instituted a new digital electronic. We joined the 20th century and got rid of the paper with the little dotted lines on the end of it and stuff, because we couldn't find any more paper. They weren't selling it anymore, it turns out. But we finally went digital to really clean up the process, be accurate, so that anything we are interacting with the public is consistent and accurate. So it should not cause any frictions for you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? We have to get the gentleman in the back so we have 100%
No,
participation.
he's here for something else.
No, this is for this. It's Fernando.
Oh.
Oh,
It's our building
Come on up. You're going to be dressing in a suit and tie? You're going to talk, honey.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, and city staff. So yes, just like Ron said, we are in the process of adopting the 2025 building codes, just to reinforce that our buildings that applicants do come in, that they're met with the minimum standards of the codes. And fire has our support, and staff does as well. So thank you very much. I was put on the spot, but
Okay, if you're gonna,
and
if you're
I
gonna,
actually did a couple inspections for Councilmember Lowe, so it was good.
yeah, if you're gonna wear a tie, you have to speak in the microphone.
Yes.
That's a rule.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can I add, council, that Fernando is a contracted employee. He's part of Charles Abbott and Associates, and we have a safety inspector as well. His name is Brian Knock. But when I came over to Development Services, I challenged them to do our first review of any plans within 8 working days or 2 weeks, and they have delivered. And if you are, and I think Councilmember Lowe can attest, most cities will not meet that. They'll take them weeks and weeks and weeks, and we have done it where we do, well, like I said, within 2 weeks, 8 working days to get that first review back to the applicant. And so they work very hard to get that review, again, within the 8 days, and then they also do a very good job trying to do the inspection as well. Sometimes if you go to other cities, it'll take you anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks to get an inspection. That's not the case here as well, right? And so again, I challenge Charles Abbott to provide the best customer service to our residents, and they have responded.
Very good.
And Mayor, if I can add to that as well, OCFA is exactly lockstep with your assistant city manager and our permit process. We vow to have it done in 10 days or less as well. So the turnover between the two is as good as it gets in the state, quite honestly. He's not exaggerating. Some areas take up to 3 to 6 months for first readings. So you have a good team.
And I can attest to all of that. I think Los Alamitos is, for me anyways, in my experience, the best city when it comes to our building and safety department, and working with a few other cities and so forth. This is long before I was on town council and part of the city. And I think, Fernando, you became a building official while here at Los Alamitos.
Absolutely, yes, that's correct.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just want to say that the city beats fire department by 2 days, so you might want to work on that. 8 days, 10 days. Just want to say. Okay. With that, there's no other questions. He hasn't been here for a while. I got to pick on him. Okay, with that, can I get a motion and a second?
Is that what you need for an ordinance, or you not?
Oh.
You reaching. I always look to see who's reaching for something.
It says, ask staff for a report, ask council if they have questions, and ask for a motion. City Attorney, would you like to read what we're voting on?
Yeah, sorry, and I apologize in advance because under the state law, when you're adopting these codes by reference, you have to include an excruciating list of the codes being adopted by reference in the title of the ordinance, so I may have to take a water break midway through this one.
You don't get paid by the ward? Okay.
Here we go. First before you is ordinance number 2025-07 entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Los Alamitos, California, amending Chapter 15.04 of Title 15 of the Los Alamitos Municipal Code and adopting the 2025 edition of the California Building Standards Code, consisting of the 2025 California Administrative Code, the 2025 California Building Code, including Appendix J, the 2025 California Residential Code, including Appendices A, H, and AX, the 2025 California Electrical Code, the 2025 California Mechanical Code, the 2025 California Plumbing Code, the 2025 California Energy Code, the 2025 California Historical Building Code, the 2025 California Existing, oh, sorry, did I do Energy Code? Sorry, 2025 California Energy Code, the 2025 California Historical Building Code, the 2025 California Existing Building Code, the 2025 California Green Building Standards Code, the California Wildland Urban Interface Code, and the 2025 California Reference Standards Code, together with certain amendments, additions, and deletions, and adopting the 2024 International Property Maintenance Code and the 2024 International Swimming Pool and Spa Code, together with certain amendments, additions, and deletions, and Ordinance 2025-08 entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Los Alamitos, California, amending Chapter 15.08 of Title 15 of the Los Alamitos Municipal Code and adopting the 2025 edition of the California Fire Code, including Appendices B, BB, C, CC, and H, together with certain amendments, additions, and deletions.
Nice. It must be 2025. You said it 18 times. Absolutely. Look at that. A minute 41. All right. With that, now I can ask for a motion in a second.
I will move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Now we're on to council comments. Councilmember Lowe. You're up.
Nothing to report.
Okay, Jordan, you're up. Don't you dare say nothing to report. I'll cut your arm off.
Well, it started by now. Los Alamitos, I went to the Los Alamitos Foundation meeting. I'm surprised you didn't mention that. But just want to encourage people when we have our events, it's usually the beer garden or some other fundraising event, to check out the booth and check out what the foundation's about, because the foundation tries to raise money for some very good causes. I also attended 2 OC Sanitation board meetings, and with respect to the OC Sanitation, it's really the Cypress sewer system that's being worked on, and I think some of you that are traveling down Bloomfield and Cerritos kind of hit some of that. But supposedly that's supposed to be wrapping up here pretty soon. But that's it.
All right. Don't you dare say nothing to report, Mayor Pro Tem.
No, I went and found some things.
Okay, good.
I really didn't. Most of my boards were dark, but I did go on the cemetery tour, so I won't belabor that except for to say, as someone whose father was a veteran and passed away and had to be buried all the way out in Riverside, I am ecstatic to have something much closer and to have all of the different facets. That makes my heart super happy. And I went to the budget standing committee meeting, and we do exceptionally hard work in those meetings, but then we come out and share it with everybody else because we believe in transparency.
Were we at the same meeting? Okay. All right. With that, I would like to adjourn the meeting at 7:04 p.m. And I won't even handle it.